Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Architect Reacts. And the goal of this project is to hopefully bring a little architectural education and awareness of the perspective that architects have on the world. And a lot of people view architects as, oh, good at math or this or that, but architects also are challenged to try and create things out of both what's already there, but also into something that people maybe didn't even think of. So this project here I stumbled across is actually something that's a little wild. And so imagine taking a national landmark and putting a hotel there. That's, I don't know, probably the most capitalist thing you could quite do besides strip mining it. But really, well, why not turn it into something that is more of a true public space? So check it out. A Hollywood sign hotel. This person wants to take the Hollywood sign and turn it into a hotel. Well, first off, you can tell there's absolutely no actual landscape. They put a straight line, and this is a hill. Hollywood undulates. There's no play between them. It's absolutely straight. The idea off the jump is quite interesting in taking this landmark and turning it into something else. But really, what they'd be doing is destroying it and then rebuilding a copy of whatever it was. So yeah, I guess you could be preserving it, but I assume it'd be way bigger because how big is the Hollywood sign? Well, let's find out. How big is Hollywood sign? It's only 45 feet tall, so like you could squeeze in several floors in there, but the width and the true efficiency of the shape, it would just have to be much larger. I mean, you can tell this is a purely an idea. These are pure renderings. There's giant steps that are completely unrealistic for anyone to. I mean, for it to be a hotel and a public space, they would have to separate out the public entrance and then whatever actual private hotel entrance. Because if you're staying there, you're not gonna walk here. It's like, well, where are these people coming from and where are they going? I mean, it's clearly just a kernel of an idea because they only have these three images, but that's a lot of what architecture is. It's the kernel. It's a stepping outside of the box. Now, is this the best use of space? I mean, maybe not, but is it better than just a sign? Probably. Space is meant to be used when possible. That doesn't mean build and construct everywhere. Space, not buildings. That's also a big distinction between architects and other people is that architects think in terms of space instead of actually the walls or anything. So the void is way more powerful than the actual building or whatever it is. So this is just all solid. There's really no true void. The void is made from the intention versus if you flip it and the intention is the void. So, I mean, you could do a lot with the idea of a sign, but you would have to really play with it. And then at the end of the day, it's California, it's America, there's politics, there's public hearings, there's people who just don't like change. So, something as radical as this, good luck. Like, you're gonna have to be in control of the politics as well, but really, I mean, I've been here several years now, and I haven't heard anyone speak of this idea at all. And just turning a landmark into a hotel, but it wouldn't have to just be a hotel because we would want it to be public and inclusive and not $10 billion a night. But I mean, that view would be outstanding. I mean, I've actually been fortunate and have to hike all the way up here, and there's a couple ways to go, and we took the longer way. And I mean, the views, like, you end up on the ridge looking into LA and the valley, and it's just absolutely outstanding. So this might be the most expensive hotel in the entire place because it would have the best view. Also, why would this get to be a hotel on the top of a ridge when they have preserved all of this, you know? Like they barely allow the sign there. So the idea that they're gonna allow, I mean, that's the politics of it. And a city is nothing but the embodiment of its politics. So it's pretty easy to build when you are a dictator. Look at all of the great cities that they were absolutely destroyed and built up. That doesn't make it good at all. It's just the capacity to do it. And maybe because we have so much hoops that people aren't running buck wild just building whatever, but still on the flip, who's making these rules? It's just a group of people, but then it's a group of people not wanting to really change what already is and viewed broke. So always try and find the kernel of the idea and then push it from it there with all practicality in mind, but not the starting point. Practicality is just the constraints to push the idea through, and it is something for the idea to be born out of, but you're also assuming that all of these things are right and just. And where as an architect, it's about the orchestration of the design. The design of what? Not just a building, not just a room, not just a chair, but life, cities, politics. Great architect. I mean, think about computer scientists. They've completely taken the word architect. It's because they are solving problems, stepping back, and then figuring out the series of problems to solve. That's what an architect is. And that's what I hope anyone out there is going to learn.